speed. Brad, let me do an audio check with you, and of course, hopefully you guys can hear me, or everyone's waiting for me to come on and speak. How am I sounding?
You're coming through loud and clear. Happy Wednesday. It's good to start this QA session. We've got a lot of great stuff in the software.
You and I are going to have a very, very long discussion about that tomorrow as I decimate you on the golf course at La Costa. I have the home field advantage.
I'll be waiting.
Okay. So, guys, gentlemen, ladies, prepared for one of the most amazing webinars you've ever been on. I can't speak English. I'm Russian. It's my second language. This is going to be a very, very exciting webinar because, I always like to literally teach something important. And I feel like I've got it today. And also, to the bewilderment of my compadre, partner, assistant, Brad, he has no idea what's going on because everything that we discussed earlier about what we were going to do in this webinar has been scrapped.
Well, that's why I don't like talking to you Wednesday before this webinar anyway, so that's great.
Good for you. You're lucky, or are you? Okay, before we begin, let's get all the formalities out of the way. Trade Ideas is not a registered investment advisor. Everything that you're going to hear on this webinar is for educational and informational purposes only and should not be construed as a solicitation of any kind to buy or sell any security. If you need specific advice tailored to your own buying and selling, please consult a registered investment advisor. Okay, Brad, are you ready?
I'm sitting. I am ready.
Okay. Well, don't get too excited. The first slide is basically to reiterate what Scott was saying, which is we are in the middle of a test drive where we let people who, are kind of on the edge or just want to experience the software at the least prohibitive price possible. We do this like either once a quarter or so. It really depends on what's going on. But literally, the people that are doing this now, the people that are on this July 17th, 21, are witnessing in the process of seeing and feeling the biggest leap forward we have ever done. And we've been leaping, Brad, leaping.
Yeah, we certainly haven't been sleeping.
We have not been sleeping, we have been leaping. Ladies and gentlemen, you're going to see some amazing stuff. So if you have not done so, if you're on the edge, for $8.88, you still get Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and there's historical data too, so it's not just like during the market. Let's move on. Again, I'll come back to all of this too. Brad, do you know what this is?
That is an Earth-ocean sonar, a sonar of the ocean floor.
Now, for the lesson today, I'm going to ask Brad, do you kind of remember from whether it's Google or wherever, like how it's done?
It's probably done through sound emission of sound waves and
that's right.
Like an ultrasound, I imagine.
Yeah, so as Brad is saying, a ship cruises by the ocean floor, throws waves, those waves bounce off of the bottom, and depending on the speed of the bounce, you can see what's going on. And this is what the ocean floor looks like. It's a type of mapping that we do. Now, we of course don't just map the ocean floor. You can go and see Google Mars, Google Moon, and of course, we have Google Navigate. Google Navigation is a fantastic modern type of tool, and it's not, I don't even think it's necessarily Google that invented it, but the bottom line is when you have assisted navigation, Brad, how much does this help people navigate more efficiently?
Well, I mean, I think it's now a standard, right? It's if you don't have that, you have no idea where you're going.
Right, you're either in your hometown where you don't need it, like very close proximity, or you're effed if you don't have it, because it's very hard to get around and you could be stuck in traffic. So like Brad said, it is literally a standard. So there's a very important thing that I want you to see here. So again, the reason that Google knows is because it gets a signal from your car. So kind of like the way the ship, Brad, throws down and receives. So Google from a satellite, you know, can find your car via your phone, kind of see where where you are, map it around to where it knows all the bumps are and the final location, and does an amazing job of telling you the best way to get there. Okay, so now Brad, do you know what you're seeing?
I am probably looking here at market data, the
Correct.
flow of market data on any given day.
I kind of wish Steve Gomez was here, Brad, because I feel like he would benefit too from this thing. Now, this is kind of a cool GIF because it is literally real-time market data, and I want all of you guys to take a real look at this because, by the way, Brad, most people have never seen it because, as you know, market data is hidden behind candlesticks and all this kind of old bullshit that we put on it, you know. But
Well,
if
it
you
is, and there's also a lot more of it today than there used to be, right?
Well, that's why I'm showing you, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, this is real. This is not BS or whatever. This is for real. This is market data, and of course, this is a GIF that's on a loop. But I just want you to get your mind around it, okay? So you see like how bum, 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 and then, okay. Now, Brad, here's where I want to kind of draw the beauty and of what Trade Ideas does and why everybody should hear, you know, something that I've been telling my assistant, Brad, and even Scott, is that I really do believe, Brad, we have a multi-billion-dollar company. And I want to share that with people that are at this webinar so they understand why. First of all, let's start with almost everything cool in technology is never made by gigantic corporations. You know, the iPhone is for the most part, you know, an anomaly, and even that started from a culture of kind of startup. But everything from like a Napster to Mega Upload to Google is made by small teams with, you know, niche knowledge, and you have to have a lot of things come together, and that's what we have here. So why are you continuing to see this image? So Brad, imagine this. So you want to navigate in Washington, D.C., okay? Let's go back here. You want to navigate in Washington, D.C. Sounds like it's pretty easy to do on Google Navigate. Would you not agree?
Or San Francisco.
Or
Yes.
San Francisco, wherever. It would be pretty easy, right? But what if the city kept moving?
Well, it makes it more difficult.
Doesn't it now? Imagine now, ladies and gentlemen, that the stock market, every stock is kind of like a city, you know, and you want to navigate to it, or you want to navigate it, because navigating a stock lets you take advantage of both the upside and the downside. You know, instead of like focusing on this, I'm a value investor, and all these random words that the fake financial media continues to like shove down individual people's mouths so that you can be more controlled, I want you to really keep an open mind. You know, mapping. Okay, so every stock is a city, and the idea is the better you know it, the better you can navigate it. Is that a reasonable thing to say, Brad?
Yeah, I think so. I could draw that inference.
Okay, well, here's the thing. Again, because there's a challenge where our cities move, that means like Apple, for example, it goes up sometimes, it goes down sometimes. Maybe the long-term direction is higher, but maybe there's like a 3 or 6 or even 7-year time frame where the direction is lower. Again, you want to be able to navigate it because knowing how to gives you a tremendous advantage. That is what we are about, and that is what I'm going to show you. So we have built an artificial intelligence, and for those of you who aren't aware of it, like what we do is our AI doesn't see candlesticks the way you see it, even though we translate it all into something you see. But what I want you to notice is that we are analyzing it at this wave level, picking up on inferences. When we do statistical analysis of patterns, we are seeing the little bitty hills that your eyes would never even pick up, and it moves too quick for us to make any inferences of. But that's what it takes to succeed in today's market. So without further ado, I'm about to blow your mind. I'm going to stop and I'm going to switch to the Trade Ideas software, and we're going to talk about many of the changes that we just launched that should completely change the whole investing experience. Okay, welcome to the new latest version of Trade Ideas Pro. We are on the artificial intelligence channel. Now, the artificial intelligence channel is that channel that kind of looks through that GIF that you just saw, but looks at every single stock on multiple time frames and designs a navigation path like Google Navigate would to how to figure out the direction so as to invest in the prevailing direction. I mean, Brad, that's another way I think that's kind of good to explain it, right? There's this direction. Whatever the direction is not that relevant because we can invest in the upside and we can, of course, invest in the downside. And you should not really be too emotionally attached. Imagine if you were not too emotionally attached, how much you could have profited when the market was collapsing from 2007 through 2009. Okay, and people did. I mean, you saw that on The Big Short, et cetera, et cetera. But it doesn't take a gigantic genius or a quant. It just takes somebody who's at the right place at the right time to find the right tool that works. And this is what we bring to the table. So unlike other vendors who are very good at showing you charts and stuff, the difference is that Trade Ideas is focused on one thing and one thing only, which is you making money using this software. So how does somebody make money using the software? Well, the first thing that you have to do is you have to figure out what is your risk criteria. So that's some of the things that we talk about in our webinars that occur from Monday through Friday every single week. And of course, as Scott mentioned earlier, Barry Anderson is the head moderator of the Trade Ideas Trading Room, which is really one of the best pieces of fintech because it's free and we let anybody observe and of course participate, but at the same time you see Barry and a lot of his expert comrades do like the best practices use case of our technology, whether it's simply utilizing the artificial intelligence or trading discretionarily, which everybody does both. But going back to being focused, where can you put your resources to be focused on things where you are going to be paid off? This is the confusion, and this is what we want to solve, okay? So one of the things that I see you hopefully are being aware is that notice that the software is scrolling by itself. At the very top, you see that it says currently idea surfing. This is one of the biggest innovations that we just launched because we have all this cool data and we're investing so much raw technology power and processing. We need to stop forcing you to have to dig through it to see it. We're going to present it to you. So the software, it goes through and presents through the proper scrolling to bring your attention to what's working the most. Of course, you can see all the details. And by the way, you can click on something and instantly pause it, okay? You can go through any single AI suggested trade and notice, of course, how much everything has changed. Everything, just like in the Google Navigate, you have complete visual guidelines. Here is your entry, and you can see where your entry is, always to where the current market situation is, okay? So it was down a little bit, and then it started to go from 26.58 all the way up to 26.99, and did so over a course of, you know, something like an hour and a half. Beautiful, beautiful trade, okay? And again, you can kind of see exactly what the AI is trying to do and see what it looks like when it wins. And of course, at the same time, understand that it's never perfect. And this is why we have the stops. Notice, everything again is visually represented for you. So right now, I'm in discretionary investigative mode. Again, look at how beautifully the stops are set. So there is no reason for you to get stuck. If you are not greedy and you simply follow the rules, we are giving you the best rules to follow. It's all built into the AI, and the AI is never emotional. So Brad, remember when I was talking earlier, we're really going to talk about a lot of the emotion, but I kind of thought it was better explaining in this visual navigation type context. You know, why not be emotional? Because think about all the things that have gone on underneath. So here, I want to show you the losers so you can see what they look like. You know, here you got into this trade right here, you know, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and then it didn't do anything.
But you know, the interesting thing, Dan, is you can afford to take these risks if you have very limited losses, right? If you don't let the losses run and destroy you, you can afford to try these different opportunities.
And that's what it's all about. And just like, you know, in other form of speculative contests, like whether it's poker or 21, your ability to lose small and continue to play, that is the real key, because we will find you on the other end. Whoops. We will find you the TRKs, the CRCs. I mean, you know, just so nice. Things that, and this is the other thing, remember too, and Brad, we really almost don't emphasize it enough to some extent. You know, first of all, the other thing that I wanted to kind of showcase is that people often think that good trades instantly work. But look, here you can tell that that's not the case, because in fact there was this little bit of failure, and only towards the second half of the day did this thing start to
But
run.
look at the resulting daily chart. I mean, it's setting up. It looks just.
Well, that's the other thing I wanted to say, which is understand that when the AI gets into something, it's getting into it not for the day. Even though we get out, the AI.
No, but obviously, look, if you're going to stay in a position, right, you want to be, ideally, you'd like to be positive in that position at the end of the day, feeling comfortable in that trade. And that's what we're hoping to do by giving this information like this.
Well, the hardest part of a trade always is actually the first day, you know, because you got to get through it. That's the funny thing. And here, look at that. You can see what the AI is looking for, right? This potential reversal. And so there's so many long-term implications for what we do. And by the way, we're going to be making it easier for you to see stocks that the AI has looked at in the past. But the real thing I want to showcase to everybody, obviously, is the fact that now we have this continued idea surfing. And what you can do is whenever you sort, okay, so this is the beauty of being able to really focus on letting the computer help you by sorting and resorting. So here I'm focusing on which stocks have gone in the direction of the trade at the very end of the day. And here they are. And obviously the AI and the software knows that there needs to be enough time for you to be able to kind of take a look and, of course, you know, see if you want to stay there or not. So again, you can switch it. And just see different names. Now, if you go to another channel, the same thing takes place. So now we are giving you a very good reason to channel surf, because the software is going to help you see everything that's in the channel. And once you see things, you can really then start taking advantage of the other functions of trade ideas. This looks amazing. So what I'm showing you now is really what people do. And even though the stock has changed, it doesn't matter. When the alert triggers, you're going to see, excuse me, you're going to see a little pin. So you can do that for every single stock. I'll do it for this one right here. and I'll call this complete breakout. And I'll hit save. Now, what I can do is just to show you, I can go right here and notice you've got this pin. And now I can actually move it. I can change it. I can move it here. I can move it, be as specific. But what I want to do is I want to get just above the highs here. Say that's when it's really going to go. That's where you get size. So now you've got this nice little beautiful pin, and you can continue to surf. And the software will do everything for you. Now let's go check out the social media channel.
And by the way, you can do that on the daily like you showed, or you can do it on the intraday as well. It'll reflect on both.
Like, here we go. I'm going to set an alert. This looks like it is getting ready to run. I'm going to hit save. And of course, I knew it was this one. So now, again, I paused the surfing. You can see what it looks like on the daily. And you can see what it looks like here. The funny thing, Brad, is I had one that already got triggered here. So I'm going to get rid of that one.
Looks like it got triggered at a good spot, too.
Oh, absolutely. So this is what, again, this is how people use trade ideas. And by the way, not only this way, but right from the software, you can right-click and trade using interactive brokerage. So we really do give you the full, complete, easiest way to take advantage of this technology. And think about the efficiency, okay? Think about what I'm just talking about. Now with trade ideas, by utilizing this surfing and what I'm gonna be, and the next part of the segue, which I'm about to mention, is you are going to process approximately like infinitely more amounts of information. So Brad, let me change this to a time frame of 15 minutes so it's a little bit easier to see the levels. Okay, so here we go. So notice that every single stock, when you pull it up, it doesn't matter which one, this one, again, I'm surfing or you're surfing, it doesn't matter. There is a smart stop price and a profit target. So you are completely covered. Like, let's look at it on a bigger stock so it's easier to see. So here, the software, this is what we did, and this is another one of these innovations that's kind of, it's subtle, but yet it's the most impactful. So consider, you like, let's say, NVIDIA. It's like a favorite of everybody, okay? So here's NVIDIA's 15-minute chart. So what we have done is this. We've said artificial intelligence. We obviously know that you would not trade every single stock. But hypothetically speaking, if you did, only hypothetically, where would you put your smart stops and your profit targets? And so this is what we put on the chart. So here's NVIDIA, and you can see if you are trading NVIDIA with how big it is and its volatility, wherever it is right now, you would want to put a stop at 164.49.
And it's not magic. It's really it's a mathematical algorithm, but it uses what some of our secret sauce and trade ideas, some of the data points that are very special and unique to trade ideas. Like it looks at relative volume, what its average volatility is, what its range for the day. It puts all that in a little bowl and kind of comes up with a value that it finds appropriate.
Totally. Well, here's one, OMAB. Okay, I'm going to pause surfing real quick. It's a $52 stock, and again, because of its volatility, here's where you would want to put the stop, 51.84. So it's like 35 cents or so. Okay, and it's 26 cents. So in all of this information is, it's also right here, but now we visually display it for everyone to see. Every stock that's exciting, whether it's something like this, TTR, 75 cent stop, because the volatility, look at it, 17.99. There's enough volatility that if you trade this the way you normally trade something, where you give it like 10 cents, well, you're going to be over time simply what you call jigged out of positions, where you just lose because you're not giving it enough room. So this is what we've done for you. We've done the complete Google Navigate for every single stock at any point in time. And the beauty of this, and Brad and I, again, discuss it always, and you can really, maybe it's almost better, Brad, for this demo to see it kind of on the daily, by the way, like in this particular case. Because it's so, you can just see what it's trying to do. See, right here? Every single stock. How about Apple? Another favorite. Okay, so if you were going to be an Apple right now, wherever it is, your stop is 50.46, 74 cents. That's the volume weighted, volatility adjusted for right now, proper mathematical stop. The trade ideas, because of our server technology, continues to update all day long. So that's the advantage. Excuse me. So additionally, this allows you, once again, of course, to really take a look at some of our other channels without kind of worrying about or thinking that you have to really just sit there and dig through. You can kind of let your eyes be guided and understand that you have the Google navigation smart money signposts for every single stock. I mean, where else do you get that? There is no place else. And this is, again, why we are going to be completely changing that game. So imagine this, Brad, and I'm just going to entertain our viewers. Very soon, imagine you being on the web, or simply another version of trade ideas, where you're kind of going to see something like this. And by the way, you can already do this yourselves. There's that eloquent beauty of knowing that this is where, like, just like in the Tesla self-driving car, this is where the computer is constantly presenting you. This is the real Tinder, the way it should be. Instead of you having to swipe left and right, it's simply just, click on something and that's your pause. Oh, okay, I like this. I can see why the AI would have brought this to my attention. I like the stop. It's right below a support area. Okay, let's keep going. This is the future, ladies and gentlemen. Mathematically adjusted stops, mathematically adjusted profit targets for every single thing that you could ever imagine. And of course, again, the point is now your attention can be focused onto the things that really have a chance. I'm going to say, whoops, was that on this one? Yeah, it was CBay. Right here. Really has a chance. Trading, proper trading, is not necessarily very complicated. Here it is. I'm going to raise it up just a little bit right there. Why risk it? Just get in when you know it's going to tear. And now back to your surfing station with assisted navigation for every single stock. Let me, again, Brad, I want to just kind of reiterate this for everybody out there, whether you are a Trade Ideas customer or you're not. What you're seeing here is the game changer. Because we are now making it possible for you, just like Google Navigate, whereas you could go to St. Louis, rent a car and drive around. Before, you'd have to go to St. Louis, rent a car, dig out a map, plan a route. Think about the efficiency with which you are now getting data. So Pierre, on AEZS, the trigger was a price alert that I simply had set. Let me bring it back up. So the first one was here, and it was like right around there, and I had just seen that it was going, I think it was right around here. And I had seen that it was going, and I said, you know, this looks good. This is the time to get in. And obviously the stop was right around here, and it happened to have never touched it. So that's what it was. And I got rid of it because I wanted to showcase how we now are, you know, we basically created better graphical representation.
They're also like, if you didn't use it with a price alert like you did, I mean, there are other ways to find a stock like this. As I look at the single stock window, you know, this stock doing relative volume of 193, that's a huge number that is definitely an anomaly for a stock. And I'm sure there are, you know, a lot of other data points like that, but that's what you want to do when you want to, if you want to try to build an alert window or something to capture that, you can find those data points and kind of reverse engineer it.
So Richard, everything we're showing you applies to every, so this is in Holly, for example. So it's surfing. Surfing is available for Holly and not Holly, and these additional support, I mean, stop loss and profit target lines are available for everything. The only thing here that's premium is the right clicking and selecting the alerts. Now, users of the basic product still get 10 for free, I believe, right, Brad?
Yeah, that's right.
So you still get a chance, but yeah, we are way beyond just the AI. Now the AI is, of course, the creme de la creme because it's doing everything for you, and literally the idea is to follow it. But still, in order, to the tune of just seeing information and making yourself aware, I mean, come on, there's nothing better. This looks insane. And those are the best kinds of things. You know, it's when you see these beautiful patterns and then you don't have to think about it afterwards, you let it come to you. And how did I see it? Because I was surfing. You know, same thing here. I mean, beautiful. Everything you can just, your own intuition now can simply work for you. Whatever you're comfortable with, you know, if you like negative movements, why not?
Could be great opportunity there, right?
Oh, it's incredible. And again, here's a triggered alert. Beautiful if it goes. And again, you don't have to, here's the thing, we're in the, not so much the gambling game, but we like it when there's momentum and the tell has been done, like my size. See where I have the alert? Nowhere near here. But
no, you may not see that for a month, right? But when it comes up, you know something's going on with it.
XCO, my trigger was hit. Beautiful. But again,
I want to bring up the price alert screen just to kind of show everybody the way that we can archive it. We have the history of it. You can sort on it. There's just so much stuff that you can do with it as well. Really complementary to the alert and top list and multi-strategy windows that we have. So yeah, you have it right here in a triggered mode. So you've got it filtered only to show the symbols that have triggered.
Right. So these are all of my ones that have triggered. And here's the thing that I wanted to, again, because this is kind of, we're showing sort of like the overview stuff on this Q&A because so many things, these are new. Now these are not so new, but the beautiful thing and the difference again between trade ideas and everything else is that when we do triggers, when they get triggered, our software keeps track of the triggers. So you can see how much money you're up or down. You see what I'm saying?
Well, I definitely do.
That's the beauty of it. And again, you know, you can, there's also, you can see what's working, or you can change the mode to just working, meaning what has not been triggered yet. But this way you really keep yourself honest. You can see what's going on. And again, one of the things that everybody should be aware of is that Steve, Barry, Jamie, Andy, myself, Brad, I mean, whether it's through this Q&A webinar, during the everyday trading room overviews, videos, or live, we're continuing to help you dissect this content, this new data-rich Tesla driver-assisted way of navigating the stock market. And I really feel like once you do it this way, I don't really, because I've tried it, I kind of went and looked back at it, you know, the old way, and I just don't even see how you can come back. I mean, again, I'm biased, so don't get me wrong, but still, you know, we're going from animated to still motion picture. You know, if you're doing it the old way, it's one picture at a time. Here, we're freestyling. So this will also, surfing is coming to the web soon, just it's not there yet. You know, and again, remember, the beauty is how this can just make you see it. Yeah, I see it. Innovation does not have to be complicated. You know, that's one of the things, Brad, that I think people get confused about when we talk about investing and data mining and all that stuff. It does not have to be complicated when you really create great stuff. And that's what I think we're doing. Because we're automating the things that you need automated, not extra tools. You don't need any more indicators. You don't need any more formula editors. You're not a person underneath a car changing the oil and, you know, timing the transmission. That's just not the way it works. We've gone beyond that and gone more to the Tesla assisted driving. Okay, so there's a question about negative stocks. There's a nice icon. It says price down movement, and there's a guy punching another guy. Penny stocks. Lots of interesting stuff to surf through. What is that? So again, something for you to see is that, notice, you get into this, you got your stops. What other place is going to give you a roadmap? Yeah, make sure that everybody knows that the channel has a scroll bar, okay, and it kind of goes, here's after hours. So we can, you know, our software does not stop. So look at the post-market change. You can see everything, you know, because again, since we kind of make our own data out of market data and compile it and do all sorts of cool stuff with it, here you can see, you know, real-time post-market action and see what's moving, why it's moving, what's going on. And this is that beautiful ability of not having to look so hard. Wow, look at that, Liberty Media. HPJ is a stock that's going to be coming up. I mean, that's that one that we've been following because, again, it fits that profile of something is changing. So you definitely look from 4, that's a big jump. It's at 5 already. That's something to keep an eye on, Brad. China, lots of volatilities and opportunities. But the same thing, now you have that roadmap. Anything you want to buy, any symbol you pull up. So let's finish it with this. People in the question and answer, give me a stock that I have not shown and I will show you what the software says it suggests you do. And again, I'll pause the surfing. So name some stocks and I'll do it for you. OCLR, okay. Okay, the stop is at 967. Here you can see it over here on the daily. I'll zoom in a little bit. So this is where the stop is, and this is where your profit target is, where you might hit some resistance. Okay, so let's see here, X. And I'm not doing this in order, I'm just doing it so you guys can all see what it's like. X, smart stop is right here, makes perfect sense. It's a 31-cent smart stop, and the profit target's above here. I'm gonna go to AAOI, kind of jumping around, but smart stop. And you can see, notice the computer, this isn't all made, I mean, it's mathematically knows where it should be. If it goes below here, it could be bye-bye. So that's where if you want to play around, that's where it's at. Let's see, BAC, Bank of America. Your stop is right now 23.80, 25-cent stop.
So again, I have a question here from Andy that wants to kind of have a little bit more information on the position and range indicator.
Okay, so it's good to show it on the, let me switch to another. So okay, we're going to show position and range. Let me move to another channel. See if it's a good idea or not. Nope. Hold on, Brad.
Okay.
I know we have it somewhere. Okay, perfect. This is a good. Perfect. So when we were younger and more naive, Brad, when we had more naivete, we wanted to, since we were battling other people, and it was a speed game, right? You wanted to kind of be anticipating what you're getting ready to see. So position and range says that this is the position in 20-day range as a percentage. If it's on this side of the equation, whoops, then it's closer to lows. So right here, this stock is at 8.1445 percentile of its 20-day range as a percentile. Now all of these, remember, bullish, so it won't be too terrible because it's been designed that way. But the idea is all of these stocks are literally on 20-day highs. And you can see, I'm just going to go through them so you can see what that looks like. Big gap up, right here. In fact, here, what I'll do is I'll switch these again, just so everybody, since we're looking at the 20-day range. Okay.
Yeah, and so we've got this this indicator. It's also a filter on all these different time frames, whether it's intraday time frame or the daily time frame, or like Dan's showing you here, the 20-day. But it's really easy to understand. Like if you think about the daily time frame, all it's doing is letting you know where the stock is currently in relationship to its intraday high or low, or on the 20-day, where is it right now compared to its 20-day range. So just giving you the ability to really drill in and find where that stock is on these different time frames.
So imagine this. So remember, while you guys, we don't often talk about the fact that all of you can make your own custom windows, but Brad and I will just show you real quick how you can make a top list where you can say, okay, I'm going to start from scratch, and then you go to our search and say range. Okay, so you can see all the different ranges that we have, and we have quite a few. From 2-minute to 5-minute.
These are the ranges, so it's not a position in range. So if you actually
type in, saying that you can specifically, we have ranges of all kinds. Whoops, I misspelled position. Okay, so position in range, 5, 15, 30, 60, the day, yesterday, pre-market. That's kind of cool. 5-day, 10-day, 20-day. So what you can do is you can say add filter. So now I can say I want something that's on 5-day highs, okay, but check this out, but on no more than 30% on the 10-day. Okay, so you're like, what is he talking about? So let's say put half and let's say to 100.
Yeah, super amazing how powerful these simple filters are at allowing you to craft kind of a message, if you will.
Yep. Okay, so we have some stocks here. Take a look. Beautiful. No, I'm just kidding. I should have put some. Okay, so notice how it's on 5-day highs because it's going up, but it's still at the lower end of its 20-day range because I set that to 20. So let me just configure, add some columns in here that you guys can all see. Let's see, price, volume.
And then, of course, any columns that aren't visible here to add, you can do so from the search tab. So
sure.
Any filter that we have can be brought in as a column so you can see that data.
Let me position in, so I can go to search and I can say position in 5-day range. Show column. Okay, so now it's there. So I hit OK. Okay, so now you can see exactly what I meant. So see when I go to configure and I come over here and I go to my Windows filter, so you can see everything I said. Excuse me, got a cough. From stocks, minimum price of 30 cents to 100, and I can say 1,000 by the way, to include the price lines, and that have volume today of, let's say, of 100,000, just to, again, filter it. But the position in 10-day range is no more than 30, but position in 5-day range is at 100. So this is this is kind of like what you call, really you'd call it the bounce. And you can really kind of do something cool with it too. You can say change from the, so let's say you can say change from the close percentage, and you can add the filters to make sure that it's positive, right? So everything is positive. The bounce, positive. So notice again, instead of crazy kooky, indicators and itchies and scratchies, I'm just simply, boom, just going right. So out of all the stocks that are out there, these are the only ones. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, but you could also have that running tomorrow during the market, and this thing updates regularly. So when a stock hits, it's going to come through.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, look how powerful and beautiful this is. Like, this isn't overwhelming. This is 2 symbols. And then you can start to like really play around with things. And by the way, this is what Jamie, Steve, Andy, they show people how this is done. You can like kind of adjust things a little bit, and all of a sudden, boom, your universe expands quite a bit. But these are all the same. I mean, Brad, this is, I'm just saying, like, look how powerful this is. Everything is going to look good because I designed it that way. Do you see that?
You could bring in like the relative volume column, and you could see what kind of volume these guys are doing, and you get all this information before you even necessarily bring it up on a chart. You got it all right there.
Yeah. In other words, it's kind of like why people trust trading with the AIs. They know that all of this stuff has been done underneath. So when the AI is going into something, even though it might not look great for you, but the underneath math is there. So again, relative volume, show column. So here you go, and out of all of these, right? So whereas this one is reversing on kind of, not anemic, but below average, AVGR is reversing on average, ANF above average, Kona above average. This one above average, but it looks like it closed at the bottom, so again, we'll see. This one looks beautiful. I mean, this is the kind of stuff that Barry and I and all of the professionals look for. These are the real opportunities, because when you catch them, I mean, the potential, if there's, really a rebound. Okay, let me add just something that Barry, Brad, you and I mean, this is what I want to finish off in terms of putting it together where all the pieces of the puzzle do the right thing. Let me just show everybody. Do you see this? Brad, I'm kind of looking for a yes from you. Okay. Brad, do you see this?
The short flow to 50%. So
explain to the audience, our guests, why we love these patterns when you see this.
Well, with such a high short float percentage, if this stock starts to go, there are going to be quite a few people that are going to be caught short. They're going to be forced to exit that position, and in doing so, it's just going to cause more buying frenzy.
That's right. So there's a lot of people that are half of the people. So in other words, 10 million of this float is betting against it. If they have to cover, this thing is going to run. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set another alert. So Bill, if you're talking about how do I set that little pen, the marker, right click, create price alert, and it's already there, the price that I was at, boom. Say, I love the SQUEEZE, the squeeze, short squeeze, boom. Do you see that?
I see it.
Okay, and days to cover, love this. So in terms of what Andy's saying, days to cover is that based on the average volume of the stock, it would take 15 days for all of these guys to get out of their bet against this company. That, my friends, is what you want to look for, the dumb smart money. Let me give you the best example. I mean, this is the way we finish up, and I'm going to mic drop right now. Okay, Weight Watchers. Let me just go rewind here real quick. Okay, so Weight Watchers right here was our trade of the week. Okay, right around here at 12. So the reason Weight Watchers has been running, aside from Oprah and everything, is this. See that? People are short this thing and they're feeling pain. So Richard, it's not that I selected an entry on the squeeze. It wasn't random. It was my visual entry. I selected it via just simply saying, this looks like a good price. So if I went back, which one did I do that on, Brad?
I can't remember.
Great. I think it was, wasn't it Smart? Well, it had to have been one of these guys. Here we go. Okay, it was Big Five. There we go. Okay, so what did I say? This is the part where you, and it's kind of a good question, Richard, because it's a question that everybody should ask themselves. How did I select the entry? I did it through the methodology of Nike's Just Do It. So what I said is, okay, this is rebounding, and there's a lot of people that are betting that this is going to go down, which means that if it gets to this price, meaning it's continuing to go up, and these people who were winning at that time are now starting to lose, I said, this is the time where I want to get in, and again, here's my stop, potentially. So I feel just very comfortable. It's fixed my risk.
Initially, Dan, if you zoom out on that daily, it also was just super appealing, right? And I think that's something that as you get more comfortable looking at stocks and trading them, certain things just stand out to you instantly.
Again, this is, I mean, we love this. You know, and notice how similar things from here, right, are popping up on various elements. I mean, this is all the stuff that all the investment houses are not really trying to show you.
Yeah, well, that's another good point. You know, as you see a symbol pervasive on all the different channels, you should take note of that, and that's important information.
So, Brad, Andy had a question about the volume today and what the colors mean. And again, that's kind of like a higher level question, but only because we're at an open house. But basically, everything can be color. So every one of these columns is pre-designed, color-coded, not randomly, but to bring your attention. So in this case, volume shares today, the darker it is, the bigger the volume. So here we're sorting this, okay, on change by 5 minutes. In other words, well, we want to see a stuff that's just started moving over the last 5 minutes because we already know everything else has volume. But in terms of, and this is just shares, by the way, okay, there's also the volume percentages that are underneath, and you can do the same thing. So here, look, unusual percentages, we're like, this is yellow, like burning. And by the way, all this can be also changed by you. So we are like Adobe Acrobat, Microsoft Word. Not only do we give you everything, but you can change everything, and we show you how to use this. You know, everything can be customized, but you don't really need to do any of that, because now with assisted trade navigation and idea surfing, we've really broken the mold completely, guys. This is the future. Brad, I just dropped the mic and tripped over it.
You did, but I think you did. But Andy, I'll help you with your question. That was good, and that works for all of the filters. But the one that Andy was talking about, as you're picking your mic up is the volume today percentage.
Oh yeah, I didn't know that one.
And that particular, well, that
By the way, where's that thing hiding? Give me one.
Well, you just got to add one to your chart.
Well, I don't wanna. To my chart? You mean to my top list?
Yeah, I mean to your top list. Just add that column to your top list or to your alert window. It doesn't matter.
Figure, search, volume.
Today percentage. Third one from the bottom, right there.
So this is again volume today percentage. Just added it, and here it is.
Okay, so what you've got here is you've got it's a filter, a data point that lets you know how much volume has been done today, cumulative to this point in time, compared to normal, and it's giving you, and it's done in a percentage basis, and it's giving you two cones, and the cones are really, it's a little confusing, but one of the cones uses 100 as the benchmark, and one of the cones uses 10,000 as the benchmark. So the one that uses 10,000 is the purple cone, and the one that uses the 1,000 is the green cone, or vice versa. I need to look back at the document. It's giving you that visual representation as to how much volume is happening today, and really just giving you a cone to be able to sort it and visualize that cone.
Yes.
Sorry about that.
Never let developers too close.
Are you okay there, buddy? I think we've lost Dan.
Okay, no, you haven't lost me. So, Rob, can you show us how to build something similar to Holly's bullish pullbacks? Well, we kind of just did. What the hell did I do?
Well, you did. You created a top list with a couple position and ranges, right?
Well, yeah, when I did this, so I'm going to go to, whoops, new top list. And by the way, you can see how I'm going to now go finding what I just did, recent settings. Where did I put it? Reason.
I think there's another way. We can kind of walk them real quick if you want.
Call it, Brad?
Well, it was, I don't know. I don't remember what you called it.
That's great. Yeah, it's all
and I'll just walk you through it, Dan.
Okay.
So go all the way to the top there, scroll to the top, and let's start from scratch.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, at that point, I know what to do there also.
I know, but okay. Well, I actually wouldn't do this in a top list window. I would do it in an alert window, because that's what we use for Holly. You know, Holly is optimizing. But then they can't really. Okay, go ahead. That's fine. Let's do it. Okay. Let's do the alert then. Let's open up an alert, and we'll do it really simple. I'll show you what we do to build the base, and then from there, Holly does everything else. You know, Holly takes this core concept and it looks at all the filters and adds certain filters, removes certain filters to make the most optimum strategy possible. So yeah, pick a pullback alert, and you can pick any one of these. I like pulling back from the high myself, but
well, I mean, this is kind of, we talked a little bit about this.
Let's do this. I want to create a bullish pullback. So let's do a 75% pullback from the high. Go back to your search tab. 75% pullback from the high. That's fine. Yeah, and just go ahead and select that. And then let's go to our filters.
Hold on.
I mean, guys, it's so easy to craft these ideas and then to test them and, you know, see how solid it is in the marketplace. Well, we're doing a bullish pullback. So the first thing is, this is going to be a positive stock for the day, a stock that's up for the day, even after pulling back that percentage. So you can even make it higher, Dan. You can even like ratchet that up to like 1% or 2%. This is a strong stock. It happens to be pulling back.
1%.
You could add volume to it, like maybe 1.5, so that there's a little bit of volume in the relative volume area. Now do that in the relative volume. Change from the close 1%, relative volume 1.5. So now we've got at least 50% more volume than normal on this stock that's up at least 1% that has pulled back a little bit. You know, you could set minimum volume constraints, your price constraints, but that's right there a concept that's going to generally pull in stocks that are pulling back, that are strong for the day. Then the real secret sauce are the different filters that you would want to add to that. And there are so many different filters.
So I, for example, said that I wanted it to have a minimum of 100,000. So there's kind of just enough liquidity for a couple of thousand shares. Let's put in, just in this case, 50 cents, but only to $25. Because again, we want to buy more shares. And now we go for, I mean, really that's it. Let's see what kind of columns we got. Price, description.
You could bring change for the day. You could do any number of different data points, but that's kind of irrelevant to the strategy itself.
Yeah. Change from position in 5-day range. We'll do that. Okay, so as soon as I hit OK, we got this alert window, and you can see that an hour ago it said you had a 75% pullback from high. So this is right here.
Well, that was a post-market, so you'll need to do some history back in
history, and here you can kind of see today. So you can quickly kind of dive in and take a look at some of these things, what they look like. So for example, this is a great one that Brad just showed where he caught it. It wasn't perfect, by the way, because look, it went lower, but the idea, and that's the thing that everybody must know, that perfection is impossible.
Well, plus this has not been optimized yet. This is just a core concept, right?
Of course, but you know, but I'm kind of showing that this is, that this is what this stuff looks like, you know. Now, again, Brad can set this up. You know, once he sees some of it, he can go, and by Brad, we can go to anybody and say like position in range, and again say position in 5-day range and 10-day range. I'm going to add the filters. I'm going to say the similar stuff that I saw before, where I'm going to say 5-day range, I'll call it 75, and 10-day range, I'll say 40 maximum. So again, so it's rebounding. And now
maybe Dan, you want to run the back test on this thing and kind of show this is the first stage of what Holly, our AI, does to a strategy.
So back test strategy, and we'll just say, okay, starting from the open, again, very broad, and timed exits of, let's say, at the close, just hypothetically very long term, and hit simulate buy. Whoever thought of this idea is brilliant.
I'll take it.
Brad, put that into the Holly Bank. So you know what I'm going to do now? Okay, here's what I'm going to do. Because we love you guys and we want you to make money, right click, save or share to the cloud, save and share, copy. Ta-da! Everyone has it. So now there's more reason for you to try the $8 trial. By the way, I mean, Brad, I mean, this is kind of awesome, and we totally didn't like rig it or anything. We just literally
That's the best way, right?
That's the best way. We randomly stumbled into like just this is buy the effing dip, you know, kind of concept. So here, you got it that now, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to close up shop and finish off this wonderful presentation. Oh my God, this is so mesmerizing. Okay, so like I said, what you're seeing is the beginning of a company that's going to take over fintech, a multi-billion-dollar corporation that could buy Bloomberg. I know it sounds crazy, but believe me, in 1985, Bloomberg was just some one guy. Barry Anderson is like one of the X-Men. The best of Charles Xavier's students were Brad. I'm Charles Xavier.
Is that who you are?
Yeah, it's hard to say. But Barry is amazing. He's in the trading room every single day, showing everybody through his own experience, not just talking you Madden style through, but he's actually playing too. He's like the player coach. Diego Maradona. I love it. I mean, this is the way it is really done. And we have a whole meritocracy of people that really bring up the room to a higher level, and everyone gets the benefit. So I really suggest you guys go to this web address. We have a podcast every Friday where myself and my other assistant, God, I have so many assistants, Brad, Dr. Jamie Hodge, QuantBot on Twitter. We and I discuss all sorts of stuff, and I feel like we killed it last Friday. We're trying to get Joe Rogan on the next podcast, but he's so hard to get a hold of. Is it possible?
He hasn't answered you back yet. Huh?
He doesn't answer my call. Is it possible he smokes more pot than I do? It's hard to say. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, please, this is the last day of our test drive. After what I just showed you, if you don't want to check this out, I mean, you know, I don't know what's going to move you.
Or to be fair, it's the last day of signing up for the test drive.
Yeah. Then it goes through Friday. And do people get to use it for the weekend?
Yeah,
if they sign up today, they have it Thursday, Friday through the weekend through Wednesday. Just like the people that signed up before this last week.
So everybody gets a week. Damn, Scott, you're good.
Yeah, just like the people that signed up before last Friday had it all weekend and all this week. And the only thing the people that sign up late for miss are the special support webinars we have in the morning this week. We're not doing those next week, but they can still get 5 days plus the weekend. So sign up if you haven't yet.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense, and that actually is better than I thought. So yeah, no hesitation. Make sure you do this. You'll get to see the next generation. And of course, this is what our products actually cost. And you know, for artificial intelligence that shows you how to invest and gives you a guideline, the Google Navigate for proper driving in the market, come on. Doesn't get any better than this. It's like $4.40 a day versus your latte. And of course, there's medical school. It's always a fallback position, right, Brad?
It's always a backup, yeah.
Always a backup plan. So listen, guys, because we really appreciate the level of early adoption of people that come into our webinar, there's a promo code SIZZLE, 15% off your first month or year of trade ideas. Really recommend it. We are super easy to get a hold of. I am Trade Ideas 1 on Twitter. Our more corporate is @TradeIdeas. That's David Afarian. Please like us on Facebook. And of course, for any questions about what you heard today or in general, shoot an email to info@trade-ideas.com or my personal email, dan@trade-ideas.com. And of course, this is our phone number. We are always live, always open, and we are taking over the market. Thank you, everyone, for participating in this webinar. Scott, are we all good?
Yes, we are. The recording will be up later tonight. You'll get an email reminder tomorrow, so you can watch it all again.
Okay, fantastic. Thanks, everyone. See you soon.
Thanks all.
Have a great one.